Thompson Show.
Albert has curated a strong offering for Florida. We like to turn to the Sunshine State on Fridays to see what's going on, see what has happened, the unusual, the troubling. This is Friday Fabulous Florida.
It's time for Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
A look at the weirdest stories from our weirdest state.
A Florida man claims he broke into a house. When apprehended, he said he did it to get away from a ghost that was chasing him, which is a very strong excuse. It happened in Daytona Beach.
Wild idea, but it just might work.
Andrew George is his name. George was booked last week, 2 counts of burglary. According to the arrest report, cops were called to this Daytona Beach historic home, and there was a burglary. They found a guy, identified later as George, laying on his back on the front steps of the home, covered in blood and crying out in pain. His alleged accomplice, Natasha Kocheroy, was standing over him. After speaking with George, Kocheroy, and several witnesses, police say George and Kocheroy, pictured there, you see, had purchased a room at a nearby travel inn. They were in the room for about 30 minutes when they claimed they heard a window opening, thought someone was trying to break into their room. They ran out of the room, demanded a refund from the motel manager, arguing for several minutes. They were refunded, but moments later, George and Kocheroy observed a shadow behind them, according to their recounting of events.
The ghost wants them.
Thinking it was a person who was breaking into their motel room, the two ran across the street in an attempt to hide from the shadow. They ran into this 7-Eleven, asked for help there. Then they kept running toward the parking lot because the ghost was chasing them, they said. They were scared of the ghost.
As ghosts do, yeah.
Kocheroy thought some ghosts chase, some ghosts don't. This was a chaser. Kocheroy thought George fell into the water, so she supposedly helped him out. The two ran into a neighborhood across the street. Still thinking they were being chased by the ghost after all of this, they approached a few homes, banged on the front doors, Kim. They were panicked. They wanted help. The people living inside called 911 and threatened to stab George with a kitchen knife if he didn't leave.
Is this what they call a bad trip?
There's a lot going on. George did admit to taking anybody want to...
I'd be willing to bet my lunch that there's alcohol
it's
involved.
Not alcohol. He did admit to taking, if you guessed, Molly, there it is, also known as ecstasy.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why he believes God was not protecting him from making bad choices. God doesn't like the Molly takers.
This is a word from the Lord, and he's not happy.
He is scheduled for arraignment July 18th. If you want to go down and see him, that's the day you want to put on your calendar. July 18th. Congratulations to the two of them, though, for getting away from the ghosts. Sometimes you do have to go the extra distance to...
Looks like they got a free room with the state of Florida.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Florida woman behind the wheel of a car involved in an airborne crash. Wow. She was a distracted driver on a Georgia highway. She lost control, and Albert has the video for you now. Pretty crazy. The Georgia State Deputy's body cam actually is what you're seeing now. And you'll look at that.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. They were at a traffic stop, the Georgia deputy. That's why you're able to see this. And you can see all the...
She went up the ramp of the tow truck.
Yeah. And she was, again, she survived. She was rushed to a hospital. Deputy was also injured because of flying debris. But she was distracted. I mean, that's what happens when you ain't watching. You know?
Looking at your phone, all of a sudden you're going up the ramp and flying through the air.
Yeah, that's the phone is the least of the problems. A Florida man poured gas on another man and lit him on fire, everybody. That is a very strong Florida move. He was arrested, you'll be happy to know. Hillsborough County Sheriff said the whole thing happened as a result of, if you guessed, an argument. Really? An argument? I thought it sounded like a family reunion. Mobile gas station is where the whole thing happened, on 22nd Street in Tampa. You know where that is, just down the street from the Whole Foods and the Publix. Earl Hargrove Jr., 34, one of the men in the argument. After the confrontation, he purchased some gasoline from the pump, then allegedly poured the gas on the victim before lighting him on fire. I mean, the victim was taken to the hospital. He's got life-threatening injuries, though. Hargrove charged with first-degree attempted murder and aggravated battery causing great bodily harm. No bueno. Meantime, on the other side of Florida, there is this. 2 women beating up a boyfriend that they shared, I guess,
Sister wives.
when they found out that he had been playing around on them.
Oh.
What?
So
Yeah.
this is the moment they're made aware of each other?
Yeah, it seems as though that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you should apologize for how you feel.
Right. Well, they were making it clear how they felt.
I don't know if I feel bad for this guy. I mean,
Oh, I see. You think he had it coming to him.
I think it's possible.
2 women in Miami, they battered their boyfriend for being unfaithful. One of the women is pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah. They got into a verbal dispute, hit their boyfriend, whom they unknowingly shared.
Yeah, one of them is pregnant, and the other one, they live
a cop.
together. So.
Oh, I see. One of them is a cop, though, right?
Yeah, I think Perez is the cop.
Right. Anna Perez, she's 34. She's a cop. And the pregnant woman, Mila Zuluaga, 35. That's the whole threesome. The report, I'm talking about the arrest report, said that Perez, again, that's the cop, was in a relationship with the man, and Zuluaga lives with him, as Albert says, and is 7 months pregnant with his child. Well, she's pregnant at home, and what's he supposed to do? Hang out with her? He's out there, trying to make something happy happen.
I guess so.
Get his happy on. Of course, they go to the cops. If somebody's a cop and they're involved in this, they go to the police, the chief police. The cops have to come up with a statement like, "How can you be involved in this lawlessness?" And this is the statement. Quote, "I'm disappointed by this officer's actions. We were held to a higher standard of conduct on and off duty. Although this officer was off duty, her behavior was unacceptable and it goes against the core values of our department." So the man, I guess, will press charges. So, is that her? That's the cop?
Yeah.
She's kind of attractive, but maybe.
That's one of them. I have the picture of the other one too, and I'm not sure which one is the pregnant one, which I don't know. But I think the pregnant one gets to keep him. Isn't that the rule? I don't know. Do they have other rules for these things?
Well, I don't know. But I do, if you could work it out, I'd like to send a card when the newborn is
somebody's stuck with
welcomed
that guy.
into the world.
Here's the other lady. So that's one. I think that's the officer. Here's the other lady.
They're both quite attractive, if I can say that. Yes. So I know I'm not politically correct to say it, but I found them both attractive. So congratulations. Good on him. Once the bruises heal, I think he can be very happy with one or the other, or maybe both. Who am I to say? I'm not a judge of that sort of thing. Florida man is caught and hospitalized after running from deputies, and he escapes a second time. Timothy Talmadge, 33, facing charges. Here's what happened. He first evaded, but was eventually caught by law enforcement, put into a hospital, and then escaped the hospital just hours later, everyone. You know? The heart wants what it wants, and he wanted to escape. Yeah. There he is.
Yeah.
Deputies reported the 33-year-old Timothy Talmadge ran from them, got away. He was a wanted person of interest in a robbery investigation, had active warrants at the time. What a surprise that is. He's kind of a petty thief. Most of his warrants relate to petty theft. And they tried to detain him, and he kept getting away. He ran from
sucker.
ran from deputies, captured, arrested on 2 warrants, and then they had to, apparently this is procedure, during what was described as procedure, it required that he be unrestrained, and that's when he escaped from custody again.
We have processes and protocols and standards.
Well, the protocols in this case allowed him to escape. So they got him back, and he faces pending charges from multiple agencies, Lakeland Police, Lake Alfred Police. So he's got a good deal of legal time in the courtroom still ahead of him. The MMA fighter Mike Dragic wrestles a 10-foot alligator. Right, Albert? This really happened. Outside of a Florida school, it was a moment that was caught on video, and Albert, I believe, has it for you. He initially tried to grab the alligator by the tail, but when it was unsuccessful, he hooked it with a catch pole and got it contained with the help of fire and rescue workers. So he didn't, the stupidity of wrestling an alligator is clear. And once that was made clear to him, it took real wranglers to, this is just, I don't know what this is, a publicity stunt? There he is. The blue-collar brawler, he calls himself.
So he wasn't trying to save anyone. He was just messing with this animal?
Yeah. He has a 2-2 record in 4 amateur MMA fights. I don't know. Albert, was this an arranged thing, or was there an alligator at the school and he tried to pitch in?
It happened to be an alligator at the school.
Okay, so it wasn't an arranged thing. It wasn't a publicity stunt.
No.
Okay. So he did try to help Kim.
Okay. That makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, me too. He said, I felt like Batman trying to help get this alligator away from the school.
Wow.
And finally, Albert, you like the underwater? What do you like?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
A Florida man living underwater won't resurface even after he breaks the underwater record.
What?
He's going for it, man. He's in it to win it.
This is Key Largo, Florida, a university professor breaking a record for the longest time living underwater without depressurization. It just happened this weekend. Joseph Deturi's 74th day residing in Jules Undersea Lodge, situated at the bottom of a 30-foot deep lagoon in Key Largo, wasn't much different than his previous days there, since he submerged March 1st. Dr. Deep Sea, as he's called, ate a protein-heavy meal of eggs and salmon prepared using a microwave, exercised with resistance bands, did his daily push-ups, and took an hour-long nap. The lodge does not use technology to adjust for the increased underwater pressure, Kim. The previous record of 73 days, 2 hours, and 34 minutes was set by 2 Tennessee professors. Same location back in 2014. But now, Deturi, having set the new record, says he's going to stay at the lodge until June 9th, when he gets to 100 days. Wow.
But that doesn't mean that it's a good thing.
You can see him there if you want to take a look at him. The record is a small bump, and I really appreciate it, said Deturi. University of Southern Florida educator. He holds a doctorate in biomedical engineering and is a retired U.S. naval officer. I'm honored to have the record, but we still have more science to do. Wow. Pretty impressive. And that is Friday Fabulous. Oh, we have to pick a favorite, right, Albert?
Oh, you do, yeah.
I'll remind you of what you just heard. Florida man breaking into the house with his friend, claiming they were running from a ghost. A Florida woman behind the wheel of a car, distracted, and ended up going airborne. It was all caught on sheriff's badge cam. A Florida man pouring gas on another man and lighting him on fire after an argument. A Florida pregnant woman beats up the boyfriend that she shared with a Florida cop, another woman. She's beating him up, as was the other. The two were beating him up for allegedly cheating. The Florida man who ran from deputies was hospitalized and then escaped again. It's the double escape. The MMA fighter Mike Dragich, who wrestled a 10-foot alligator outside of Florida school. And then the Florida man, the man with a doctorate, who set the new record for living underwater. It's a tough field, but I can see a couple of standouts. I need a favorite, please, Kim.
I really like the airborne accident. I do. But I feel it's not as Florida as the gator wrestle, and so I have to go with it.
Yeah, the gator wrestle is so on brand. How about you, Albert? What do you like?
The ghost story. They really committed to it, and they almost got away. So.
Albert respecting the commitment of the ghost story. And I will round out the field. The airborne distracted driver for me is. You can leave your favorite in the comments now, and if you're watching in replay, you can leave your favorite there in replay. And we do review the comments after the show.
Yeah, and we have a poll right now, and the ghost story is 54% the favorite.
Wow, ghost story. Congratulations, ghost story voters. That's pretty the poll strong. Right now in YouTube. And that is Friday Fabulous Florida for today.
This has been Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
Y'all come back now here.
They really committed to it. Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.